Hi friends, welcome back. I'm Urvashi and today I'm talking about again the nakshatra of Krittika, and today we're going to be talking about the 4 padas of Krittika, and we're going to be talking about the professions related to Krittika, and we're going to be talking about the transit of moon and the activities that are favorable during the moon's transit in Krittika, and the activities that we should abstain from doing while moon is transiting Krittika, because that is how we decide on muhurta and the best timing for doing something. One of the important things that we see is the transit of moon and the nakshatra as it is transiting. So first of all, let's discuss about the professions that are suitable to the nakshatra of Krittika. So the major 3 planets that govern Krittika are Mars, because part of it falls in Aries, Sun, because Sun is the planet that rules the nakshatra of Krittika, and Taurus, because most of the nakshatra falls in Taurus. So that is Mars, Sun and Venus. So these 3 planets have a major say in this nakshatra, or this I'd also like to call it a minor zodiac. These are smaller zodiacs. So if we call nakshatra zodiacs, so this will be the 3rd zodiac in the series. So all professions related to power and authority, from holding senior political positions. So I'd like to give you an example. Barack Obama has his moon in the nakshatra of Krittika. Tommy Lee Jones, anyways, he's a celebrity, he's a film star. So anyways, all positions of power and authority in the government officials, politicians, taxation lawyers, taxation officials, especially all officials, but especially the taxation officials. Then we have army, police. Then we have anything related to the defense, of course, anything related to the planet Mars and Sun, anything related to the government. Then we have the hotel industry, we have the hospitality industry, where hotels and restaurants, the beauty industry, because of Venus here, all tailors, tailorings, the tailoring profession, boutiques, beauty parlors, hairdressers, anything related to fashion designing like clothes, sewing of clothes, making of utensils, anything that requires fire, furnaces where there's a lot of fire, because this is a very fiery nakshatra. So right from people who work in a factory where there's a lot of fire, to people who would be working on a road, those people that make roads, because there's a lot of fire and heat with the charcoal and all if they're working, or people who are even working in a brick kiln, to lawyers, critics, to what we call journalists, because they bring out the truth. So any kind of a person who brings the truth out, who helps us see the reality and sieves through things and keeps facts aside and makes us see reality, like a news reporter, to journalists, to teachers, educators, NGOs, rehabilitation centers, orphanages, to fertility clinics, because this nakshatra also is connected with unusual births, like I said. So like IVF, and there are various methods nowadays, so those kind of clinics. So all these industries, to creativity, any kind of creativity. So of course Venus and all those professions related to fashion and beauty and all that has creativity, to cooking, to anything that requires perfection, being a perfectionist. So now talking about the 4 padas of Krittika. The first pada of Krittika, from 26 degree 40 minutes to 30 degrees of Aries. So the last part of Aries is in Krittika nakshatra, the first pada. So now we have the planet Mars because of Aries, Sun because of Krittika, and the first pada will go into the Navamsha of Sagittarius. So we have Jupiter. Now if you see, all these 3 planets, Mars, Sun and Jupiter, are the best of friends. So this pada is a very, very strong pada with a lot of intellectual energy, So if you see, we have both the trines. Sun represents Leo, Jupiter here is representing the sign of Sagittarius, and Aries is the first house, so the dharma trine. So there's a very high level of spirituality in this pada. These people could make very great politicians, people who always speak the truth, who fight for the right things in life. Politicians like Abraham Lincoln, I would link them to this pada. Or somebody even like I think it was Raja Ram Mohan Roy who fought against sati, somebody who would fight to remove the negativity in society, people who fight for the right things or fight for removing the wrong things in life. So somebody like Raja Ram Mohan Roy or Abraham Lincoln could be linked to this pada. Also politicians, yes, because it does show a lot of authority. Both the planets, Sun and Mars, and of course Jupiter, this shows a lot of authority. So politicians too, but especially those who fight for the right things in life. This pada also shows a lot of willpower. Somebody who can turn the wrong things towards the right direction, somebody who will have a never give up kind of an attitude, very, very intelligent. So those are some of the qualities of this pada. Now I'm going to be talking about the second pada. The second pada goes from right from 0 degrees of Taurus to 3 degrees 20 minutes of Taurus. Now this falls in the Navamsha of Capricorn. So now we have Sun, who is the ruler of Krittika, then we have Venus, the ruler of Taurus, and we have Saturn, the ruler of Capricorn. So now here Capricorn and Taurus both are earthy signs, both are very, very materialistically inclined signs. So here spirituality comes down a little bit, and this nakshatra is very materialistic. These people are very status conscious, so these people would be businessmen mostly, running hotels, people who aim very high. Remember we talked about very high ambitions in the nakshatra of Krittika. So people who aim very high, who build big organizations, big businessmen, who are very status conscious, government officials too, politicians especially, because this does show the 10th house of status and position along with the sun being there. So this nakshatra is very, very materialistic, and these people are very materialistically inclined. So these are those people who would get their way around a situation by being extremely diplomatic. So they will know how to be diplomatic and get things done their way. Now talking about the third pada. The third pada is again Venus, Sun, Aquarius. So Venus because of Taurus, Sun is the ruler of Krittika, and Aquarius because in the Navamsha it's going to go to the Navamsha of Aquarius. So Venus, Sun and Saturn. Now this is a more intellectual pada. Whatever planets or if your ascendant or moon goes into this, the third pada, this shows a lot of intelligence. This shows a lot of forward thinking. This shows somebody who would like to take care of others, being protective, again fighting for others. Somebody who would be interested in running an orphanage, an NGO, of taking care of others, of taking care of the downtrodden, of fighting negativity in life, a visionary of some sort. So these people are more forward looking, and they like to work in groups, project work, and they have again the positive side of this nakshatra of Krittika. Spirituality too, to an extent, but more of intelligence, more of forward looking, more of a universal kind of thought process, and not accepting the taboos of society and fighting for the taboos of society. So Raja Ram Mohan Roy could be more connected to this pada, the third pada. So the fourth pada of Krittika falls in the Navamsha of Pisces. So now we again have Venus for Taurus, Sun for Krittika, and Jupiter for Pisces. Here we have two very, very creative signs. Pisces and Taurus, extremely creative. So, and Pisces is a very spiritual sign. So these people again very spiritual and very creative. Creativity will be very high. People who go into the beauty industry, fashion industry, hairdressing, even cooking, because even that requires a lot of creativity. So people who have a creative bent of mind. This would also be people who go into teaching, healing. So this was another profession that in fact I may have looked overlooked. Healing, like I said, rehabilitation. So rehabilitation could go into the third pada. Rehabilitation and NGOs could go into the third pada, where one would run an orphanage and all. But healing and teaching and creativity would be more in the fourth pada. So I think I've covered almost all the padas. So the fourth pada people whose planet goes into the Navamsha of Pisces also have a higher level of spirituality, because from inside the planet has gone into Pisces, which is a very, very pure and spiritual sign. Now let's talk about Jupiter's moon's transit in this nakshatra, and what kind of activities we should do and what kind of activities we should avoid doing. So whenever you want to find out if you should be doing a particular activity or not, you can always check where the moon is transiting. So let's suppose the moon is transiting over the nakshatra of Krittika. Then anything related to fire, knives, cooking, cutting, chopping, sewing, anything related to criticizing, critical analysis, even starting education, teaching or taking education or teaching, anything related to all this is good. Being very honest, participating in a debate, telling the truth, being very frank, coming straight with somebody. So this nakshatra is good for all that. But if you want to socialize, if you want to hold a party at your place, or you want to go out for a kitty party with your friends, or you want to call up a friend, or you want to make up with an old friend, and you think you're going to do it when moon is in Krittika, then you're going to end up arguing again. So it's not going to help. So no socializing. Socializing will not be very beneficial. Resting or relaxation will not be beneficial. Or anything related to water, going to a water park maybe, or planning to organize especially a pool party, because it signifies both socialization and water, so makes no sense. So anything related to water, because this is the star of fire, so anything related to water is not good. Anything related to relaxation, friendship, socialization is not good. Anything related to cuts, using a knife and sewing, and anything related to all that, or being frank or being honest, coming straight with somebody, is perfectly fine in this nakshatra. So that is all for now. We'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.